Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Merrimack Town Center Committee. This is Friday, this is Friday indeed, November 30th, 2018. We're meeting in the Matthew Thornton room. We seem to be missing two members at the moment. Bill Cummings let me know that he is out of country at the moment and cannot attend today. I have not heard from Bill Wilkes or from Finley Rothaus, but hopefully they'll join us shortly. We have enough for a quorum, and the time is 5 after 12, so I think we should begin. The agenda for the evening, today, first off, Jackie, would you be good enough to do our minutes for us once again? I'd appreciate that. And then we have the minutes of October 26th, which I took the liberty to make some changes to, and I've given out copies for your review. The things that I changed mainly is separating the NRPC study from the widening of the Effie Everett Turnpike, and also separating the annual report from to the town council and the TAP grant status from the last meeting. So we will talk about some of those things again at this meeting, but that's where the major changes were that I made to the minutes to which Jackie had submitted, because it seems to me a little more clear when you have them under
whatever you think.
Whatever.
Okay with me.
Okay. Okay, I'd entertain motions then to approve the recorrected minutes if it's the pleasure of the committee.
I'll move to.
Karen moves to approve the minutes as recorrected, and we have a second. Seconded by Peter. And any discussion, any comments, any wishes? All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Matt abstains because he was absent from that meeting. Yeah. Okay. That being taken care of, we'll get into old business discussions. If we have anything to discuss under the Town Center Committee vacancies, which still prevail. Bill was going to work on that, but he's not here, and nobody has any new volunteers, despite our presence at a couple of public functions. We still seem to be short of people, so we'll pass on that and go on to the status of the Planning Board NRPC study. That study is wrapping up. It'll probably wrap up now in January. There is a draft of it that's being circulated among the Community Development Department, the Public Works Department, and the prior to its being submitted to the Planning Board. It's expected it will go to the Planning Board at one of the meetings in December for a first review, and it'll also go to the New Hampshire Department of Transportation during the month of December. So that's what's being, that's their plan right now, and I did give you a draft of that a while ago, and it's coming together. Jackie.
Yep. Oh, so it's due in December to the Planning Board, that study that we're starting to see.
Yes.
Yeah. Then to the State Highway Department.
Well, yes, the State Highway, they're going to give the State Highway Department a look at it to make sure that they don't have any serious heartburn with what we're talking about.
I'll just say also, because we don't know before, after, or simultaneous.
Yes, it'd be also, it's in December. You can say in December, but that meeting has not been scheduled, and if it gets scheduled, it may not fall in December. But right now, the hope is to get it in December.
Very. All right.
Okay?
Yep.
That's the sidewalks on Route 3, the study that the NRPC has been doing for the Planning Board. The Sauhegan River Trail, there's not much new that's happened there with regard to the progress. I'm told that they are still revamping the plans with the new money, and our Public Works hasn't really been too involved with them, I think, mainly because they and the engineer who's going to be working on the NRP, on the Sauhegan River Trail, is also working on the Bedford Road Babusick Brook
I'm sorry.
Bridge.
If you can just repeat what you just said about is it the same group that's deliberating about?
The same engineering group
Okay.
is doing the Sauhegan River Trail and the Bedford Road Babusick Brook Bridge.
And the Babusick Bridge.
You look puzzled, Karen. Where is that bridge? You're
Yes.
going to ask?
Yes, because I could have,
There's-
wasn't that done already fairly recently?
There's more than one bridge over the Babusick
Babusick
Oh my
Brook
Brook.
God,
on
it's all
Bedford
over
Road.
town.
On Bedford
Brook.
Road. This one is between Pearson Road and Wire Road. If you know where that is.
Way
where that,
further down, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one, yeah.
Okay,
By,
okay, now
by
I understand.
Dagnans.
Okay.
It's just, I knew that
This-
we'd already done one
We
very
did.
recently
Oh, no, it's-
with much kerfluffle, so
Yes.
I was thinking,
Oh, boy.
and we're still on it for years later.
Kerfluffle continues.
Kerfluffle
It's-
continues.
It's a different bridge.
Okay,
It's-
now I understand.
Okay,
Thank you.
the situation there was they replaced it within a few years ago, not a few, maybe 10, 15, with a iron, steel culvert pipes is what they used. And they've rusted out now,
Right.
so they've got to do it over again.
Okay,
And also the
okay.
the need for water passage under these bridges is increasing with the increased projected rainfalls that we're
Mhm.
getting and that we are coming all the time now.
Yep.
We have to make some of these under the bridge clearances greater, and that goes with it.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Global warming is here.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's hit us. These consequences, it's no longer in the future.
Yeah. It's no longer a Chinese hoax. Oh, excuse me.
Fake news.
Okay, the 2018 grant, which is the one for the sidewalk on Woodbury Street and also along Babusick Lake Road, that is progressing. The NRPC has requested that it be done, and we expect they're working on it, and hopefully we'll get it awarded to us. It's still not been awarded.
The NRPC requested that what be done? The work to the 2018 grant? Or the flipping of the money over?
Okay, I'm not sure what your question is. There's two grants. There's one that was done in 2016 and another one now in 2018.
And what were we just talking about the same engineering group
The-
that's doing the Sauhegan River Trail and the
That's the
Babusick?
2015 grant,
Oh, yeah, okay.
okay? That's the Sauhegan River Trail. Now I'm
2015
talking about
grant.
a different grant that we've applied for,
Yeah.
which is to put sidewalks on Woodbury Street and a sidewalk along Babusick Lake Road. That application has not been, we have not been awarded that yet. That's in competition with several others at the state level.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And what shall I say about that?
Just that they're working on it still, I think is
The,
about all we
the
can
state
say.
is
The
still
state is,
working, yeah.
yes, is
Okay.
still at DOT, is still looking at
I hope it's not Edna that's working on
it. Edna,
it, the historical lady.
Well, we should probably have her finger in it before we're done. Let's leave it there.
I think she wants to die at her desk.
And things have a tendency to do that. The next item, any other questions or comments on those two projects?
Yeah, I had been of the mind that we lost the money for the, be able to use it for the trail, the river trail. But we were taking the money that was granted for the Woodbury Street sidewalk and going to use it and do the trail with that money, then reapply for the Woodbury sidewalk money.
Correct. And that has happened. The money that was originally allocated for Woodbury Street has been reassigned to the Sauhegan River Trail, in addition to the money that was already assigned to the Sauhegan River Trail. And that means that they've got to redo their plans a bit, but they think they have enough money to do that project. Then, in addition to that, in 2018, this past year, we applied again for Woodbury Street.
Right.
Separate project.
Okay.
Woodbury Street includes a little piece on Babusick Lake Road as well.
Exactly.
Okay, that we have not received an award for that. We hope to get one. The NRPC favored it for all the projects in the region, NRPC region. We were their favorite, and so but that has not been done. That is not a done deal. They have not said, the state has not, which makes the final decision, has not said, you got the money to do that.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions? Clear?
I believe so.
Okay. All
We
right.
always think we're clear, though.
Well, keeps us coming back every month for a refresher.
Really.
Okay. Item D under old business, if there's nothing else there, is the Halloween party booth. Jackie and Peter and I sat in the Halloween party, saw a lot of cute kids in neat little
They
costumes.
were adorable.
And anything that we need to report out of that, Jackie and Peter? Jackie or Peter?
I think that all of these projects eventually age out, I think,
Yeah.
and that become less important.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen that with, I thought we saw that with the farmer's market, that we finally covered like 3 years of the people coming in. It waned, the attention waned.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same thing happened the whole Halloween party, though we do get people to be very interested.
We always get somebody
always
very
do.
interested, yeah.
We always do.
Yeah.
But instead of 20 people,
Yeah,
it dwindled to like 3.
yeah, yeah. That were really interested, yeah.
It's it's Matt, the other Matt,
Just
Various
yeah.
has really done too good a job. That there's so many attendees
Yeah.
that it's crowded and they're focused. They're little children,
Yeah.
mostly really little children. They're focused on them, and
Okay, we may want to rethink it then next year, I think is what you're saying.
I
Yeah.
think so. And I think that the Winter Carnival is a great. It seems. I think that's still very good.
Yeah,
Have you been there? The
To
Winter
the winter car, not recently. no.
Carnival. Yeah, I think that's less. It's a little. People come looking for what's displayed. I think.
and there's older people too. I think it's older kids. It's not the little kids that we got for the Halloween. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. We will have a winter carnival sometime in February, and I don't know if I have that on our. I don't have it on our agenda today, but we might want to think about that. Another one that we might have considered and maybe want to consider in the future is the is the library turkey shoot. You know,
Yes.
Karen
I was
and I
just
were
thinking
talking about
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was originally going to speak to, at the last meeting, I suggested that we possibly put a display up in the library itself. But when I spoke to the librarian, there were some pitfalls that I wasn't aware of that really changed that particular point of view. And what it was is that through experience, the library has found that if they put up a display, no matter how self-explanatory it might be, there are always questions from patrons, always. And if you put information next to the display saying, if you staff is not familiar with the details of this particular issue, for any questions, please contact so and so. That doesn't work.
Oh.
They still ask the questions. And so what happens is the staff is bombarded with questions they don't know the answer to. They feel very uncomfortable because it you know, people expect that if it's there, they're going to have their questions answered. So what the librarian suggested was offering us a place at the turkey shoot and any other public activities that the library might participate in where it would be appropriate to also,
Yeah.
you know, advertise and spread information about the town center. So it was too late to try and I because I work at the turkey shoot, I couldn't do the booth too. So it was just too late to try and pull things together. But I know that I personally, whenever there is an activity, I will think now, is this appropriate to set up a town center table
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
And the librarian is most willing to do that,
Yeah.
as long
Yeah.
as it's an appropriate.
Well, I can understand that, and I understand how they would get hit with questions they
Yes.
couldn't answer.
Right.
You know, people would start asking about it.
Well, I still think I had such a success when I had a problem in development over in Amherst. And what I put together for the library was all self-explanatory and needed no questions from, you know.
That's
So
what
maybe-
that's what the pipeline map. Do you remember the pipeline map that was displayed in the library? It was a big map and it showed all of where the proposed pipeline was going to go, and there was information right next to it, and it was supposed to be self-explanatory. People always had questions, always. And what happened was the people that work at the desk and in circulation and even in reference, they didn't have the specific information that went along, because you can only go so deep, and then it starts taking up a whole bunch of room in the library. So that has been the experience, that if there is a person that is there and explaining or you know, has all the details, then they're fine with it. But there needs to be somebody that is available so that the staff isn't questioned.
Yep.
And what happened is people expect the librarians to, or the staff to know the answers to these questions. And so they would get a little bit surprised when the answers weren't forthcoming about the pipeline information. And so she has observed that, so that's where we are.
Yeah, something is displayed in the library. People think that it's because the library presented it, but that
And they
isn't.
expect the librarians to know about it, if it's there in
If
their
it's
place,
there.
yeah. And when they don't know about it, I can see why they don't, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. I didn't put two and two together, even
Yeah.
though I had heard about this difficulty that they had with the pipeline. So
Mhm.
I just, now I know. So I would have investigated it a little further before suggesting.
Well, I'm glad you did, and you poked at it, and we
Yeah.
got an answer to that, yeah.
Yeah. There, many years that there's a new event that will crop up.
Right.
There isn't. There have been a couple, unfortunately, that closed down instead. But
Yeah.
but people will
Yeah.
find some
Right.
thing to do.
Okay, any other discussion of that on the Halloween party and or the future? We get sort of segues into what we're gonna do next year. We'll talk about that in a minute. I have nothing new on the chamber representative. I never heard from Bill. I don't know if he's been appointed, if he's been in there or not, and he's absent today, so I'll have to defer that. With regard to officers for 2019, as I mentioned last time, I'd like to retire from this position. And I was hoping that either Bill or Bill would maybe step up to it, unless Peter wants to come back to it, which I don't think he does. And I haven't heard from Matt either. So I'm still looking for an officer, and I guess maybe we'll have to have some offline discussions about that. Any suggestions in that matter? Anybody would like to become chair of the town center committee?
Well, it's the year for the women to take care.
Well, it's
Well spoke.
Not I.
you can't say we're anti-women or anything, can you?
No, I would not ever say that.
Okay, well, let's leave that and go on to new business then. The Bill, I don't know if he's done anything with adding information to the town website or additional TV presentations. I'm working on the annual report. Every year I have to write an annual report that goes into the annual report of the town, and I'm working on that, and I'll get a copy out to you when it's done, and I wait till the very end of the year to make sure we get the whole year in it, and I'll let you have a look at it before it goes to the publishers or to the people who are pulling the book together. There's one other thing I wanted to mention that's not on the agenda, that we received another anonymous gift. You may remember that we had an anonymous gift to the town.
He got our bank account up to about $300.
Yeah, well, it's still there. I've checked that with Paul McHaley, and yes, indeed, that money is still there. And now I have another $750
Wow.
gift to the town, gift to us to
To
do
us.
something with the town center.
To us.
Not to us, it's to the town.
No, I know, but
Sure
the town
is.
center
Yes,
committee, I don't
yeah.
mean.
Yeah, it's to the town.
To
It's
the
to the
center
town.
committee.
And they were looking for a place to put it, and I suggested the town center, and
Oh.
they agreed with that. So,
Oh, that is wonderful.
wonderful. Anyway, I have to go before the town council and get them to accept that
Oh,
money,
great.
which they will do, and I will try and do that in December before the year end.
That'd be enough to take us all down to the stake.
I don't think that's what the donor had in mind. But we might
Gee,
have.
I wonder if it's a memorial of some sort.
No, it was not. There's no other strings attached.
Because I love the idea of, I don't want to be spending the money before we even get it, but, and as an older person, when we walk a trail, I'd like to have a bench to sit down. There's no benches on these trails because they assume that people are able-bodied,
Yeah.
which we are to some extent. But still like to sit down after.
Well, we did
Wow.
have an offer from, I think the name is Brooke, that do the granite work, that offered us a bench on the Sauhegan River Trail when
Yeah.
it's done. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's no trail yet. But there is another wooden bench out there too that the Boy Scouts
Oh.
built. But I don't know how well it's been taken care of. They're always a little bit of a liability. You need a good rugged construction.
The mattress.
Yeah, but the granite one would really be nice. It was
Would
one of these
really
little
be
granite
nice.
benches. Yeah.
Really be nice. Though, Peter and I we picked up a little granite bench for Watson Park, the little garden, and it ended up in the river.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It came apart.
But it was supposed to come.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was, and then it.
but it was enough. It was handy enough for the kids or whoever did
yeah.
it to pick up the one of three pieces.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, you remember that our sign on the Merrill's Marauders Bridge was defaced,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
the
yeah.
town went out and cleaned that off, and it
Yeah.
came out really nice. Was last I was there, it was looking
Wow,
good.
good.
But there's
Okay.
always that risk with things, especially if they're out of sight in places.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing I'd like to talk a little bit about is what other projects we might want to consider for 2018. I always put this at the end of my annual report. And what do we want to do? We want to take on anything new for 2018? Of course, we'd love to see these two funded projects go forward, but anything else that we want to do that we would like to undertake, or we would like the town to undertake to help advance the town center projects?
Well, I was just thinking that on the back of the pamphlet
Mhm.
that we have, aren't there a list of projects that were in priority form? Like, are there any that we want to start addressing that we may not have because they were further down the list?
This is Watson. Let me see if I can find one of those
I
brochures.
just didn't, I have one and I just didn't bring it with me.
These are all Watson Park. I've got it.
I don't know, but the big map had, and they were
Yes,
numbered in order of,
I know
and
what
I
you
just
mean.
thought there might have been,
Yeah,
that might have given us an idea.
Mm.
yeah. This is the.
I can
so
fetch
don't-
that map right in there.
It's mostly
I don't-
sidewalk
It's mostly sidewalks?
and
Yes.
when we could do them and
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I just,
money talk, so
yes,
yeah. They're all money projects that are in
that are
here.
on the map, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
As opposed to,
Like reaching the public projects,
uh-huh,
things like that,
mhm,
television
uh-huh.
or
Yeah.
going to town or community functions or something like that.
I'm sorry, Karen. I don't have
No,
one
well,
of those
and
brochures, but
of course, I didn't bring it, so that was silly. But if they were money projects, then that's, what I'm thinking is community projects are what we're more in a position to discuss or think about,
yeah.
rather than money projects, which take a very long time.
Yeah, which are really slow going. We have been doing our outreach. We can continue our outreach projects. Certainly the Winter Carnival
Yep.
was one. Probably the 4th of July.
Yep.
Turkey shoot was suggested.
Yes,
And the Winter Carnival as usual.
yeah, that's the first one,
Yeah.
because we have to do that
Yeah.
Soon.
Okay.
Do we want to do anything more with the farmers? The farmers are indoors now, you know, if, yeah,
Mhm.
it's a very, well, it's a,
I think we've done a wonderful job advising the public
yeah.
as to that we are here to start with, and we're working hard on different action items. Number two, and I think that, and that has been laid out as one of our responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
in the formation of this committee. But I think we can carry it rather than people having to take big boards out and tables and tents and stuff to and set up for a half a day or whole evening to get the responses that we get, which is only about 3 or 4.
Mm.
That it'd be maybe better if we concentrated on the little vignettes of little movies that have been taken and advertise those. Like in the library, you might be able to have something about the town center committee. You might want to become more aware of what town center committee is doing. On the and list. Do we have a site? Like
No,
an
we
internet
have,
site?
we have a site on the town website. There is a site there, and that's something we've been trying to get somebody interested in bringing up to date and keeping up to date. It's kind of skimpy right now. Bill Cummings thought he would have time to do that, but I don't know that he's done much in that area. We can add that, certainly, that's something we'd like to do. Updating of the,
Media.
yeah.
You know, Nelson, also
The problem
thinking,
is none of us are really adept
Tech,
at that.
right.
You know, that's the problem. We've got
Yes.
all
It is
these
a problem.
retirees out here. Yeah.
I'm thinking about that election day 2 years ago where it was a good election, like wasn't maybe presidential, but it might have been. But a lot of people were coming into the middle school, and you had that study, the NRPC study, right as people came in.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who stopped
Yeah.
to look at that and
Yeah.
filled out how many more than 100 people filled out the questionnaire.
Oh, yes, that was the election day. That was April 20th, yes. Yeah.
Primary, oh yeah, that was.
That was the
Oh, that was the town, the kindergarten
Yes,
issue
the
was on the
kindergarten,
ballot.
right.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Okay, I don't think we've got any elections coming up in 2019.
well, we always have a town election.
Yeah, the town
April.
election, oh, put it on a list of.
School
School.
district will have its election same time.
The
so-
school is arguably a better spot, because one could
Well,
argue
now
that
we've
there are
got
younger
three.
people that
Remember,
go.
we're gonna, by the latest decree, we're gonna have 3 polling places at every election from now on.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
we have to be consistent, because if we're not,
Yeah,
people get
yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
So that makes it harder for us if we
They
can't
still
do
are.
3, obviously. We have to go with the one that we expect the most people at.
Yeah,
I think that's,
or the one that has the most room for us.
News is pretty.
yeah.
Muses, all taken usually.
But people are going and coming constantly.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I think we fit in there. I think we can fit in almost all of
Not
it.
in the not in the porch.
Not in the what?
On the porch, the entry. That would be too cold.
No, indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
Yeah,
to be
inside.
indoors.
You wouldn't want to be in the alcove of the upper elementary school.
No.
There's not enough room there,
No.
plus it's too cold, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending upon
Yeah.
the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'd have to be inside,
Okay.
and elections, we can
You'd have to situate it somewhere where people would go in to register when they first walk in.
Yeah, someplace
And then
like that.
have it somewhere along the path that they would take, either to get out or when they first
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah.
so.
Well, it's, you don't, we wouldn't want it in the gym where the actual voting is, but there's a lobby right outside the gym door where they set up,
They're selling-
bake sales or
they're
something
selling
like
food,
that.
yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
all we'd need is a card table,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
there's room for that.
Yeah, that area that you speak of is perfect.
Which
I
area
know the
in
police
the,
block it off, so people can't go any further,
Yep,
but
In the
it's a
hall?
good spot.
Yes.
Yeah,
There,
in the
yeah.
hallway.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
it's kind of
usually where
like
they
a
make the
lobby.
popcorn
Right.
machine is.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like in front of the
You can
class
still get to the
cases.
bathroom, can't you?
Yes, that's where the bathrooms are, so.
Yeah, and they stop, that's where
If
the
you don't
police
block it
stop.
with a
Be
sign or
practical
something.
about this. Yeah,
Okay, if anything
Yeah.
occurs to you, and
my problem is I work the elections usually, so, because I'm a ballot inspector, so that I can't
you can't,
do
Do
the
this.
table.
no, we'd have to have our people doing it. And it would only be one of the 3 polling places.
Yeah, I can do it, but I
Yeah.
don't do the
Interesting.
work anymore. I think I've aged out.
But I don't think that you can. But we'd have to develop some kind of a questionnaire or something.
We could do that at the same time.
Well, I mean, what are you're thinking we're just there to disseminate information?
Well,
And or do we want to take a poll of what the public, I mean, maybe.
Well, that sure was
Yeah.
popular, that other poll, seemed to me. Maybe people like to do something. Okay, what do I do here?
I mean, we could generate activity if we did something like that by, putting, a little story in the Merrimack Journal or something, because everybody
it'd be so nice
gets the
if we
journal.
had some progress. I think if we could get some progress on either of these projects,
Yeah,
real
yeah.
physical progress
right.
on the ground,
And then
that would be
use
something to
that
really,
to notify the public, use
Yeah.
the election,
yeah.
that, yes, we've made progress.
Yeah, look what we're doing down here by the
Yeah.
river.
Yeah. I think I don't think you can do it too often, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that is where we've fallen down, publicity. Maybe.
But we've tried.
Yeah,
and
oh,
we've
yes,
tried
oh,
to
yeah.
do what
Oh,
we
I know
can.
that.
The times are so different than they were, that we're fighting a battle. It's not just, because people just aren't as hands-on as they used to be.
Yeah,
And that paper, the so-called Merrimack paper,
Yeah, the journal.
it doesn't seem to cover the things that I would expect a small paper to cover, like election results. You look in
I
that
know,
paper,
no.
Yeah.
and you're not going to even see
Right.
something
yeah.
Well,
as
that-
central to the town.
But they make the assumption that people are going to go on to the website and learn it, immediate news there. And, they're in between digital and print,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're kind of stuck in the middle. I don't know. What I finally did is I went on the town website, but it took a while.
That's what I finally did.
It took a while even on the town website.
Yeah, I was out of town on election day, and so I
Yeah.
didn't get any papers,
Yeah.
and I had a hard time finding out
Yeah.
who won a
It took
week
the next
later.
day, yeah.
It took me a
Yeah,
week.
that shouldn't happen. That
No.
shouldn't be.
I
No.
agree. And the old newspaper, the old one, the
Village Crier.
Village Crier, they had election results the next day,
Mm-hmm.
instantly.
Mhm.
Actually, but then again, we usually had results by 11 o'clock, which isn't necessarily the case anymore, because we were a lot smaller back then.
Yeah, they had to combine the 3 results, 3 sets of results. Okay, those are ways, certainly we can do some things next year.
I like the election side.
What do we want to do for next meeting? Do we want a meeting in December? Or, You want to skip
No.
over to January? I don't think we've got that much going on that we
Right.
Yeah.
need to meet. And we'll meet in January, and let me see if we've got a, today is the 30th. Oops, gotta go to the little calendar. This is 18. I need an up-to-date calendar.
Here. Can you ignore? You just ignore the writing. That's January.
Sure, yeah, this is January, yeah. Well, the last Friday in January is the 25th. So if we wanted to do it the 25th, that'll give us time to get ready for whatever we're gonna do. If we're gonna do the Winter Carnival, because the Winter Carnival will be in February. It'll be a few weeks before that.
Yep.
Okay?
January 25th,
January 25th.
noon. 12 noon. At the Thornton.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, Matt? You
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Good, all right. Okay, I think that's all I have on the agenda. Anybody want to bring up anything else? Public, does anyone from the public who wish to speak? There's an opportunity.
Yeah, maybe Matt has some idea of that sidewalk coming in off Babuzik Lake Road that the schools have on, it's on their list or whatever.
It's on the capital improvement plan, has been for the past 3 or 4 years. It is slated for, and it has stuck in this location, not for 1920, but in 2021, to get done when O'Gara Drive is resurfaced.
Yeah.
And that'll kind of line up with a lot of other projects we have going on, potentially the Brentwood property that we purchased and its reconversion or reuse, or that plot of land being a new central office to do a whole new kind of look at that campus and see how traffic could be handled a little better than it is now. But it's definitely on the CIP and has been for
Yeah.
2021
Yeah.
to get done. And I don't see it moving, so.
It'd be nice to have a nice entrance to the school area there,
Yes.
and maybe take a corner off that fence and open it up and do some nice shrubbery or something.
The corner off of which fence?
The softball,
Gonna take the softball field?
the
At your
softball
peril.
field corner.
Yeah, I'm thinking playground? You're talking about the
You
music
talking about
playground?
taking away?
Not the playground.
I'm
You're talking about where the
about-
little opening is down by the police station across from Lisa's
Yeah.
Tippy Toes, that little corner.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
little
just cut off
4-foot
one little
opening.
corner, and you could put up a pole and call it the pesky pole, you know?
Maybe.
We'll take that under consideration and
Yeah.
advisement.
Thank you.
Write a letter to the school board, right? Yeah, that's gonna be hard to put legs on.
When Merrimack sends somebody to the big leagues,
Then we'll put a sign and shrubs.
Okay, is there anything else we want to discuss today, ladies and gentlemen? I want to thank you all for coming. This is our last meeting of the year. And
Happy New
it's been a
Year.
good
Happy
year.
New Year.
We've had some changes. Yeah, happy New Year. But,
Merry Christmas.
but we're carrying on. We're still in business, and we're still getting support from several sectors, which is good. And we'll just keep at it. Get yourself a new chairman, some new ideas.
I think people appreciate what we do because I think that you have come up with, you meaning yous, have come up with some unusual ideas over the years that people might not have thought of themselves and said, oh, what Merrimack needs. They're different things, like the walkway up to the park
Abbey
over
Griffin.
there, and the river trail, and pushing sidewalks. These things are all things that weren't necessarily instituted by the people, but that they seem to like the one presented with them.
Yeah, I'm pleased by the amount of public support we've got for this whole thing. Yeah, it's really been very gratifying to know that so many people, when you bring it up to them, hey, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, go
Very
spend the
little
money,
pushback.
Yeah. And Karen,
Move we adjourn?
do we have a second to Karen's motion to adjourn? Would I have a second for the minute? Would you
People wanna
second
hang out
that
and talk?
motion?
Yes.
Yes, Peter Flood
protest.
seconds the motion to adjourn. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? All were in favor, there were no abstentions or opposition?
We're
We
outta
are
here.
adjourned. You may shut off your microphones.